Hi everyone, welcome back. So today we are going to look at using the block repeat function and show you the different options that are available for repeating a block across your entire design. This is really going to be useful when you've got a pattern that gets repeated one or many times across your design. So we're going to create a nice kind of a pinwheel type look and watch how fast that we're able to use an existing template. We're going to customize it, and we're going to repeat it, and we're going to have our entire design just in a matter of just a couple minutes in this video. So first I'm going to start by creating a new block. I'm going to zoom out a little bit just so that everything kind of fits. And I'm going to go under templates and patterns. This is where I'm going to start. We've got another video on explaining certain templates and patterns that are available within the system. I want you to check that out. But for this episode, we're going to let's see what looks good here. Let's see, I like this Ohio star, right? We're going to choose that. The default color, so all I did was simply click the Ohio star and it loaded into my block designer here with all my patches kind of ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and customize this. These colors aren't what I'm going to be working with, right? They don't represent the fabrics that I have that I want to make my quilt from, and that's perfectly fine. This is just a starting point. From here, I've got some custom colors that I've already loaded that represent what fabrics that I'm going to be able to use, and I'm just going to choose some other colors, and we're going to change these colors up a little bit. So I simply selected a color from the palette area. It activated the color painter, which is identified by the little box that's next to my cursor, and I can change things around. So I'm going to choose that, and then maybe let's choose this color. Is that a good one? I like this. This is kind of a muted pastel, kind of Eastery looking thing. I'm going to choose escape on my keyboard to exit that, and now I've got a block that I really like, so I'm going to save that, and it plops right into the first available space on my design canvas, right? So this is the big design canvas for the design. What we were previously looking at was the individual block designer. All right, so I want to duplicate this because I want to duplicate it. I'm going to change the colors. So I want to click it. I'm going to select my block, and then I'm going to choose the duplicate option. It's just going to give me another block that's exactly the same as this one, and now I'm going to edit this one. So simply click, choose edit from the menu. I'm going to zoom out and make sure everything fits, and now I'm just going to inverse the colors. Right, so what I'm going to do is all the purples that are, I'm going to inverse the colors. So the purples are now going to become the kind of muted color, and then I'm going to put those that color, right? So now we've inversed the colors. So I'm going to save that, and now I've got my two designs. So now what I want to do is I want to repeat this combination of this block and this block, repeat it over the whole thing. So we have a couple options. I'm going to choose the first block, and I'm going to choose the repeat option, and we get a bunch of different options here. So we get three different options here. So I can choose to repeat this one or many times. So this allows me to take a block and turn it into one or two or three, and then it asks me how many times you want to repeat this. So if I choose 2 here, for example, what's going to happen is it's going to give me 2 more blocks of that same block. So one, and so it added the 2 new ones there, as you can see. And I'm going to go back to this repeat screen, and there's an option to link the blocks together. It's turned on by default. And we do recommend that you keep this turned on. And what that does is you see it creates this parent-child kind of hierarchy in your tree here, where as I hover my mouse over the primary one, you can see that it's highlighting the first block there, and then 1.A and 1.B. Those are the child blocks that it created that are linked to the parent. So what linking does is allows me to keep the same design across all of them. So if I edit one of them, doesn't matter which one I edit, let's go to this 1A here, and I'm going to edit this. And it even tells me, it's like, hey, you're editing a linked block. And what that means is if I were to change the color of anything or change anything about this, colors, or change it, I can move things around or whatever I need to do, and I hit save, it's going to update that. It's going to apply that to all the other linked blocks. So that allows me to really quickly make changes that apply to my entire design, right? So that gives me the ability, once they're all kind of laid out, I can make a change, and it kind of propagates. Well, I don't like what it just did, so I'm going to do Control Z on my keyboard, which is the undo key. just as you would expect in a normal application. It just undid my last design. For some reason, if I don't like what it did, right, with the 2, I'm going to delete all these linked blocks. It's basically asking me, are you sure? Yes, and it just takes me back to my original. So that gives you the ability to repeat one or many times if you know you need a set number. Or I can choose to repeat this across the entire design. So it's going to take that one block and it's going to repeat it across the entire design. We would normally see that, but in this case, what I want is, if I cancel this, so really what I wanted was, all right, I need one here, and then I want one here, but then I want this one over here, and then I want them alternating, right? So I want an alternating design pattern. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up these first 2. I'm going to choose this first one, I'm going to go to repeat, and I'm going to choose the every other space. You can see kind of what it's telling me here, one block, and it's going to repeat in every other space. And so what it does is it quickly fills in every other space that's available. Make sure you've got enough width and height to accommodate what you're telling it to do. But it did exactly that, right? It took this, skipped this space, put it in here, skipped this space, put it here, and so on. Well, now I can do the same thing for the second one, right? So this block is in my first position. I'm going to repeat every other space, and I click OK, and it is going to fill in that one across the entire design. And very quickly, now I have created an entire quilt pattern, which is ready to be analyzed, which is ready to be printed and taken to the sewing room. Right? So I've got all my blocks, I've got all my patches defined, I've got my colors, and now I've created this across. So this is what my entire design is going to look like. And I did that very quickly. So all I had to do is create 2 blocks, and I repeated them across every other space. And I chose the linked option. So you can see here that if I expand block 2, it's showing me where all the different blocks are as I hover my mouse. And if I were to edit any one of these, again, as I discussed, I'm gonna maybe change, I don't know if this is a pretty color. That goes well. I like that contrast. There we go. And so if I change that, it's gonna apply that change, it's gonna propagate that change across all my linked children. So that's an easy way of making quick changes to a pattern or a design to allow you to visualize and play around with different colors and patterns and shapes and whatever you need to do until you get your design exactly right, until you're ready to go. So here we've demonstrated how to take a pattern. So we used a predefined template as a pattern. We created 2 different blocks. We've manipulated it and we repeated it across the entire quilt, all within just a couple minutes. So hopefully this had some value, and I appreciate everybody watching, and see y'all next time.